Welcome back to Boring Currency, where we track physical metals, paper market stress, and the forces reshaping the global financial system. Picture this clearly. You are glued to the charts, eyes locked on the screen, and suddenly the spot price of silver collapses, plunging straight down to $70 an ounce. It looks horrific. It feels like the floor just gave way. It feels like the end of the world for silver investors. But what you are witnessing is not a genuine market collapse. It is something far stranger. It is a financial illusion, a distortion created by leverage, not reality. At the core of this anomaly sits one man. His name is Ben Shiming. He is not a household name, not a celebrity, not someone who gives interviews. He is a shadow figure inside the system. A Chinese billionaire who quietly walked into the Shanghai Futures Exchange and dropped a $300 million wager that silver prices would fall even further. This single move represented a short position equivalent to 450 tons of silver, roughly 30,000 futures contracts. In plain terms, he attempted to sell silver that does not exist. This is like trying to sell oxygen to people already suffocating. As his paper selling crushes the quoted price on screens, the physical vaults in Switzerland are being drained to zero. Dealers across Australia have stopped selling entirely. This is not panic selling. This is not a rush for the exits. This is effectively a giveaway of underpriced silver to anyone perceptive enough to recognize what is happening. If you are watching this video at your job, keep that spreadsheet open so you look productive, but listen carefully. And if you are standing in line at a coin shop right now, do not step out of that line. What is unfolding is a silent transfer of wealth, moving from those who stare at digital numbers to those who actually possess metal in their hands. To help map this shortage in real time, I need ground-level intelligence. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Are you in New York, London, Singapore, Dubai, or Shanghai? I want to know where premiums are spiking the hardest. Now let's dissect the machinery itself. Because what we are witnessing is not a normal trade. It is a mathematical contradiction. When you see silver hovering around $70 on your screen, you are looking at a mirage produced by high-frequency trading algorithms and absurd leverage ratios. But beneath the surface, the plumbing is shaking violently. The most critical signal flashing red is something called backwardation. In a properly functioning commodity market, futures prices trade above spot prices. This condition is known as contango. Why? Because it costs money to store silver, insure it, transport it, and lock it away securely. Buying silver for delivery 3 months from now should logically cost more than buying it today. That difference is called the cost of carry. But the market has inverted. Right now, silver is trading nearly 80 cents per ounce in backwardation. This means major industrial buyers, companies that manufacture missiles, solar infrastructure, and advanced electronics, are willingly paying an 80-cent premium per ounce just to get immediate delivery, instead of waiting for a futures contract to settle months from now. That 80-cent spread is a warning siren. It tells us that industrial players no longer trust the paper promises made by exchanges. They do not believe the metal will actually be available later. They are nervous, they are desperate, and they are paying extra simply to secure physical possession immediately. This only occurs when inventory is critically tight and default risk is no longer theoretical. It is real. Now examine the trading volume that triggered this apparent crash. On the morning silver collapsed, the Shanghai Futures Exchange recorded trading volume equivalent to 1.3 million ounces in a single session. Put that into perspective. That amount represents nearly twice the entire daily global mine supply dumped into the market within hours. No trader, no cartel, no nation can physically mobilize that amount of metal so quickly. This confirms the truth. Paper contracts created out of thin air to overwhelm the order book and trigger forced liquidations. It was engineered chaos. But here is where the narrative shifts. Normally, exchanges allow this behavior. This time, they didn't. The Shanghai Futures Exchange flagged 6 clusters of accounts for abnormal trading activity under Article 16 of their regulations. Those accounts were barred from opening new positions. The East finally slammed the door on unlimited paper dilution. The whales were locked out. While Shanghai's paper market was being twisted, the physical market in New York was bleeding. We need to look at COMEX delivery data. February is typically a dead month for silver deliveries. Traders usually roll contracts forward. They don't demand metal. But this February broke the pattern. In just the first 4 days, delivery notices totaled 17.8 million ounces. That equals 3,563 contracts standing for delivery in what should have been a quiet, inactive month. This is a bank run, plain and simple. Contract holders are rejecting cash. They refuse to roll. They want bars. And who is taking delivery? This is the most alarming detail. It is not only retail investors or industrial users. The banks themselves are scrambling. Look at gold deliveries as a proxy. Citigroup stopped 1,000 contracts. JP Morgan stopped 740. Historically, these banks act as custodians, issuing receipts and facilitating paper trades. When the casino owners start pocketing chips, you know the tables are about to close. They are flipping from short exposure to long positioning quietly, while prices are being crushed. This creates a violent divergence. On one side, a paper price screaming collapse, driven by a $300 million leveraged bet. On the other side, a physical market with no quoted price because nothing is available. Australian bullion dealers have halted sales. Swiss refiners are backlogged with zero inventory. Dubai is charging 15% premiums. The leverage in silver has always been extreme. But now we are approaching a breaking point. If every paper holder demanded delivery today, the combined registered vaults of COMEX, London, and Shanghai could not satisfy even a fraction of the claims. Ben Shiming's short position relies on one assumption: that you panic and hand over real metal for paper promises. But the data shows the opposite. The lower prices fall, the faster metal exits vaults. This is a liquidity trap for shorts. To exit, they must buy metal. But who will sell? Not the miners. The U.S. government has signaled domestic supply security. Not the public. They're hoarding. Not the banks. JP Morgan and Citi are taking delivery themselves. The structure is broken. Infinite paper meets vanishing physical supply. That friction generates heat, and that heat is about to melt the suppression mechanism. Backwardation is the smoke. The 17.8 million ounce delivery is the fire. The $300 million short is the gasoline. Now, zoom out. The counterattack didn't come from traders. It came from Washington. While silver prices were smashed on paper, Vice President J.D. Vance and Senator Marco Rubio hosted a closed-door meeting with delegates from 54 nations. This wasn't diplomacy theater. These nations represent 2/3 of global GDP. The topic was critical minerals. In bureaucratic language, critical minerals means silver. Silver is the circulatory system of the digital economy. Missiles, solar panels, EVs, AI data centers all depend on it. For decades, futures markets suppressed prices, benefiting corporations while destroying mining viability. At this meeting, the U.S. admitted the market is broken. J.D. Vance stated that international markets failed to build sustainable supply chains due to persistently suppressed prices influenced by forces outside national control. Translation: manipulation. The response is historic. A coordinated price floor. The US, Mexico, the EU, and Japan are building a mechanism guaranteeing minimum prices. Think about what this means for shorts. If prices fall below a threshold, Project Vault activates. A $12 billion fund buys physical metal for strategic stockpiles. A short seller can fight charts. They cannot fight a sovereign buyer with an unlimited checkbook. This mirrors 1980, but reversed. Back then, regulators crushed the Hunt brothers to protect the dollar. Today, regulators are stepping in to protect supply. The free market is being suspended for survival. If silver stays cheap, mines shut. If mines shut, missiles stop. So a wall is being built. Paper leverage on one side, aircraft carriers and purchase orders on the other. History shows when governments declare commodities strategic, prices disconnect from logic. Now descend from politics to physics. You cannot print silver. You cannot code it. Demand is exploding. Solar technology now uses more silver per panel, not less. AI infrastructure demands silver for conductivity. Defense systems consume hundreds of ounces per missile. Tech giants bypass exchanges entirely, locking supply before it becomes bars. Military contractors receive priority access. Supply is flat. Ore grades decline. New mines take a decade. Lower paper prices destroy supply faster. The price signal lies. Inventory tells the truth. Industrial buyers treat the paper crash as a clearance sale. When delivery is demanded, shorts must source metal that does not exist. The only sellers left are those holding physical silver. We've mapped the battlefield, the reckless gambler, the sovereign backstop. The industrial victims trapped between. Now the endgame. This is not a cycle, it's a collision. 3 scenarios lie ahead. Scenario 1, the violent squeeze. Shorts rush to cover, no supply, price explodes from 70 to 150 in days. Scenario 2, the unobtainium freeze. Prices on screens become meaningless. No inventory. Premiums hit 50 to 100%. ETFs become paper illusions. Scenario 3, national security seizure. Trading halted. Silver classified strategic. Markets suspended. So see the short position not as a threat, but as a subsidy. Possibly the last chance to acquire real wealth cheaply. Watch the silence of Apple, Tesla, Samsung. When giants go quiet, the game has changed. Picture a grocery store with empty shelves and a fake sale sign. The sign lies. The empty shelf tells the truth. The screen price is the sign. The metal is the stake. You see the data. You see the desperation. You decide. If you want the full forensic report, it's linked below. Stay safe.